Are we live?
Good evening, everybody. We are live. You're very welcome back to the channel. And I'll have to say we have a big improvement tonight because opposite me is Mikey.
Woo!
Who has kindly stepped in for Jud. We're thinking of laying Jud off, but we're not going to tell him yet because he's on holiday and we don't want to wreck his holiday. But so we're going to have a great show tonight. It's going to be one of those ad hoc shows where we're just going to find out a topic that gets everybody excited, gets people talking. And but first of all, I have a couple of little announcements that I'm going to make that are just purely for my benefit. The new Jack Wolf knife is out to reviewers, so keep your eyes out and watch nobody else's but mine. This is the new Jack Wolf knife. It's the mini cyborg, and this is the bomb. This is the same size as it's a tiniest little bit bigger than the GEC number 15, the boy's knife. 3.5 inches is my favorite size for a pocket knife. Not too big, not too small. This will do every job I want in a day. Now, other people's jobs may vary, but for me, this is it. The perfect size. So they're out, and they're going to be on sale on the 17th of this month. So keep your eye out, but go and watch people reviews, genuinely. Watch them just to see what you're getting. This is in the chaotic color, and there's about another 5 colors. So
the chaotic color.
Just to let you know, this beautiful rendition of a friction folder from our friend Joe in Canada. I don't know whether I'm getting that. Can you see that? Not really.
Yeah, we can see that. It's lovely.
The beautiful CNC grind on the blade is amazing. This one's a prototype of a handle material. This is not available yet, but and Frank over at Framer Knives only has carbon fiber left. But the good thing is, you know, even if you buy it, maybe when it's not your first choice, Joe is in the process of making more micarta ones, which he'd be sending over for sale in the next few weeks or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. Just get over, buy one if you want one. Don't leave it because the knives will take longer. Remember, this is a custom knife. It's not an off-the-shelf knife. The man has to make every one by hand. So, well, he doesn't use the CNC machine, but he does the rest by hand. So that is about all. Oh, my new hat. You see my new hat? My little grandson's home and leave, and he brought me a submarine hat. And I am over the moon. Imagine after being a Navy man, imagine getting your grandchild bringing you a hat. I just think it's fantastic. It's such a buzz. Because two of my sons were in the Navy, and now the grandchildren are in. It's fantastic. So
marvelous
to him. And he also bought me, and although used across the shuck in Yankee land, he bought me this back from his trip to America. Look at that baby. That is a puppy and a half. It's completely illegal, which you had no idea about. But it's spring assisted, and by gosh, it comes out. I can't even see the maker's mark on it. I think it did see something here. Just get my stainless china. So it's a very popular country in America, stainless china. Just go to America, you'll get them all there. Beautiful knife, you know, probably at least $7. So there we go. But a beautiful and nice, and the thought is all that counts, and that is the truth.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
To get his proper hat off the submarine. This is the one he wore on the deployment he was on, so it smells like him, which is not particularly healthy. It'll be washed this week. Now, say a quick look. There's Randy, Sean, MBEDC, Slip Joint Sawyer. Oh, God, now we're in trouble.
Now we're in trouble. Slippy's here.
Sean's here, dressed, I hope.
Naked Sean, I hope.
Big E's Knives, you're very welcome, big lad. Lovely to see you again. Will Wilson's here, as always. 6-gun slinging, as always.
Will.
Just the members are all in there. Thank you so much. Pens and pen blades, as always. Mark Congerton. Mark, you're very welcome.
Congi's in there, is he? Brilliant.
I have to throw a Congi knife out that I bought recently. Have I bought one recently? I can't think about it. I've definitely got a Congi knife. Yes, I have. Let's do Mark Congerton. Sells knives on Etsy. Is it Etsy? No,
He's got his own website, hasn't he?
It's his own website, which
Congi's
is
Knives. Yeah.
Congi's Knives. Just go on there. This is one I got off Congi. This is a beautiful, nice snub nose custom.
That's a nice blade on that.
Yeah, this is for MDK that we had on here. Michael Duplessis knives. And this is a beautiful knife. It's such a comfy knife. And I love that. It really does remind me of a wee snub nose pistol. Just beautiful. Lovely cutter. So that's for Mark. And he does great prices. You can trade with him. There's not many out there let you trade. Mark is very good at letting you trade. Whatever
he's
he
awesome,
can.
Yeah.
Whatever he can. And he's helped an awful lot of us in the UK out with knives.
And you'll also find him at Sharp Show as well.
Yes, and I'm hoping we'll see. Well, we will see him again this year because Mikey's going to Sharp Show, Paddy's going to Sharp Show, and Justin's going to Sharp Show.
If he comes back from Switzerland, if he doesn't fall off of a mountain.
Yeah, his wife's a great pusher too, in the nicest possible way. Nigel Loftus, how you doing? It's great to have you in here. He's just done a trade with Mark Congdon. Yep, great. Love to see people getting a trade. It's getting so expensive now to buy knives. When you get a wee trade, it eases the pain of getting a new knife. And it nearly encourages me when I don't have a lot of money, or I can trade for two rather than just buy one. That's nice.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah, I know people don't have to do it. Ghost Malone, you're very welcome, big fella. Yeah, sometimes it's just nice to ease back a wee bit. As long as it's not for too long.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
not for too long.
The shops around you would go out of business.
Around me or around you?
So Stuart McRae's in there. Stuart, please help me. If these boys get out of order, please get to them on the type box or whatever you use for that thing. I never use that. So, Mikey, give us some of your knives. And hello. Tell people who you are, by the way, because some maybe haven't seen you.
Well, my name's Mike. I have a small YouTube channel where I just do shorts. And I'm a massive knife collector, amongst other things. Yeah.
By massive, he is definitely massive.
Is that the knife collection or me?
Probably both, knowing you lucky git.
I wasn't talking about that.
Yeah, of course you weren't.
So my new knives, there's 5 of them, and they're all UK legal, which is nice.
And unusual for you, maybe, because you're normally a Spyderco, Benchmade.
I was definitely a modern knife guy and a fixed blade guy, but since last Sharp Show, I now have quite a collection of slip joints. Yeah.
When you say quite a collection, Mickey, what sort of size of a collection might you have if you were to count them? Not that you would.
What, you mean in total or just slip joints?
Yeah, keep it to thousands.
I'd say somewhere between 500 and 600.
Yeah, I believe that. Absolutely 100%. I think you've been very modest, but there we go.
Yeah, I mean, some people sell knives, and I don't really do that. I just keep getting new ones, really.
The joys of being young, free, and single.
Yeah, and stupid.
We're all stupid.
Yeah, some are more stupid than others.
So there's the topic. Sure. What made you sort of drift over into the slip joints? What was it? Can you pick a certain thing, or did it just sort of happen?
Well, for years and years, I've always had 1 or 2 sacks. Just standard sacks. I think I had a Rambler and a Huntsman for years, from the 90s.
Yeah.
And then when I started getting into modern knives, I was adding 1 or 2 more sacks to it.
Yeah.
And I suppose that last Sharp Show, I had Slippy in my ear saying, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. So I just listened to him because he seemed like a reasonable young man. Yeah. Little did I know.
You know better.
Little did I know. And then obviously, I've been following your channel for a long time, Slippy and TK's channel, and then I got one British Barlow and then two British Barlows, and it just started to. And then I got into case knives as well, and it just starts to spiral.
Yeah, Jud was very like you. When I met Jud, he was solely a sack person. That was it.
Mm.
He had a huge collection of sack knives, and he just gradually, through not even peer pressure, it was just because I had done the change from modern to traditional.
Traditional, yeah.
He just sort of followed in with it, and then all of a sudden he stopped buying so many like yourself. You just stopped buying the other. I mean, but the nice thing is that even if you do change back, it doesn't matter because I still have some really good locking knives, but I just have very few of them. And when you're not using them, there's no point having a whole stack there. But I could create it. I could change at any time. I think that's what this hobby is about.
And I noticed that quite a few of us now, we tend to carry one modern knife and one more sort of like older fashioned knife or a really old pattern, don't we now? So we tend to carry two, don't we? So
yeah, especially with some of my more expensive slip joints, I'll carry all my slip joints, but I'll have a cheap Barlow or something in the other pocket that's going to do all the dirty work, and this is just for pretty. This is for pretty stuff. Which
I find sacks are quite good for like the dirty work, aren't they? Really, you can because they're easy to clean, aren't they? You just put them in the sink and stuff, and they're fine.
I've got two wee drawers full of sacks, and to be honest with you, I used the wee one Justin made me because he put a magnifying glass on it and an inline Phillips. Really, that's why I carry it, because I'll carry it and I'll carry another knife, like say this, to do the heavy cutting work. So
and that's So we do tend to carry two now, or three sometimes,
well,
or
I
four.
would have at least three because I always have one in my keyring, one in each front pocket, and if I'm testing more than one knives, there'll be one of them somewhere about me.
Well, that's something that I've started to get into now. Is a small knife in my front pocket.
In that,
in here, just in that little coin pocket. Yeah. I've been carrying, I don't know, like something like this little Rough Rider.
Yeah, I've got exactly the same one.
Tiny little thing, but perfect. I mean, for opening boxes and stuff.
And it's a solid little knife. It really is. It's not a flimsy. It's a solid little knife.
It's a great knife.
One of my favorite Rough Riders is the 10 pound. Well, it's under 10 pound. You know, the brass one with the cowboys.
Yeah.
That is one of the best knives that Rough Rider make. Honestly, it's just solid. It's got that beautiful spear point. Absolutely love that knife.
Well, I did pick up this little tortoiseshell Rough Rider. And it's got a stunning little clip point on it.
It really is nice, isn't it? Is that a peanut size or?
I think it is a peanut, but it's got brass liners.
A peanut, lovely knife. I've got peanuts. I've got all sorts of wee different ones.
But it's so, I mean, look, it is tiny.
Yeah,
but it's very capable. Very capable.
Do you need a 6-inch blade to open a box? No.
Opening boxes, envelopes, cutting tape when I'm doing, great little knives. But they just slip in that little pocket and you can't even feel them.
No. And they're great if you've got sheeple about you who are scared of knives.
Everyone's scared of knives, aren't they? It's
But believe me, I don't. It's not that I should just bring my knife out if it's legal. I don't want to put somebody off knives by scaring them. That's not what we should be about. We should be about ingratiating ourselves, taking out a lovely little peanut that looks nice, completely inoffensive. That's the way to go. If you're on the.
Well, I think that's part of the, of these older knives. They look so pretty. They're so inoffensive. They've got nice bits of bone on them. They've got brass on them. They don't look like a weapon, do they? They're just there as a tool.
No, I mean, you'd have to really have a very fast arm movement to kill somebody with one of them.
and a lot of time.
No, it's it is. So, what's your favorite pattern then of
traditional?
At the moment, I'll give you two questions. One for working with, and one because aesthetically I like it.
Right. I would say the one for working with is a sodbuster.
Right. Good choice.
Or anything that's like a sodbuster. Like it can be a case of a Schrade, anything like that that's in that sodbuster shape. Aesthetically now, I think a clip point Barlow.
Oh, God, you are me all over. I like a spear point. That would be my favorite.
I've just got one of those this week, a spear point Barlow. Yeah.
Because a spear point to me does everything. Not maybe perfectly, but it does everything well. And then the clip point, it just looks so damn sexy.
Especially when it's got really nice handles on it, really nice scales.
Absolutely. And well, even the handle itself, I love the British Barlow more than any other because
of that taper.
It's the bulbous end that it's got, and it fills the palm of your hand, and you just think, yes, I want to use it.
Yeah, I like to have my bulbous end in my hand as well, Paddy. Yeah.
Elan, not Elan. Sean, stop it.
What's Sean doing? Put some clothes on, Sean.
He's going to.
Put some clothes on, naked boy. So that to me, in the burlap.
I've got same one.
Yeah, this is what I'm now calling the Mark 1 because there's like a Mark 2 out now, but that is just, and that to me was, oh yeah, look at that, and now I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. Things have changed. They've really changed.
Yeah, and it does creep up on you, and you realise, oh, good God, I've got 100 of them. What happened? Where did that come from?
But they're so nice, aren't they? Because everyone is different. When they're handmade, everyone is different. It has a slightly different pull, a slightly different blade grind.
And I think that's why I like the customs. I'm getting into the customs now. I mean, like most of my customs are no dearer than what the Para 2 or the Para 3 costs.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one really expensive one, but the rest are all from 200 to 300. That's where, that's my custom comfort blanket.
Well, I've got a Para 2 in my Carter and Crewwear, and I think it was about £280 new. But every one of those is the same. Every one of those that you pick up feels exactly the same.
Yeah, the character changes when you change company with a traditional knife.
Very much so, yeah.
And you do definitely. I mean, I was GEC completely for ages. And I still am. I still love them, but they're just making knives that are not hitting they're not getting me the fizz. This last year, they really haven't given me the fizz. And that's where I sort of stepped into buying. Congi's a great buy for buying second-hand customs. So
there's a lot of nice stuff on there, yeah.
Yeah, you're paying about the same price as a good ordinary knife, like a high-end GEC. But you're getting a custom knife, which... and Congi will tell you what the pull weight's like. He'll show you what its fit and finish is like. So, you're on a pretty safe bet.
Well, he helped out Justin, didn't he? Because Justin bought a knife and he didn't like it, did he?
Yeah, and he changed it straight away and he got another one. He'll sort your problem out, and that's what you want.
Yeah, that is brilliant. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's what brings people back. So there's Jesse in, there's Randy in, there's Bob Mon. Was that Monge? Yeah, Monge. Marco's in. And Paddy and Jud. No, Jud's put a wee bit of beef on and a little about 12 inches in height.
12 inches, about 12 foot in height.
So, yeah, it's... So if you were to say what brand is the one that's hitting you most at the minute?
Right. So when I was getting into these last year, it was Case.
Yeah.
It was Case at first. And I am one of those guys. I've got about 30 Case knives now, and I don't have a bad one.
Yeah.
I've never had a bad one. And I've seen all the videos on like YouTube, but I've not had a bad Case knife. And I really like the Case knives. I really do. They do some lovely bone handles, some lovely dyeing.
I've got more case than I've got GEC now.
I've only got 2 GEC, and they're wonderful, but they are a bit more pricey than a case, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Bit more.
But I think you get, most of the time you're going to get, it's maybe not a better knife. It just feels nicer to me. I can't explain it much more.
I think they just spend a bit more time finishing them.
Yeah.
And that makes all the difference in your hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe not even finishing. I think it's the design of the knives, you know, how they fit in your hand, all that sort of thing. It's just a combination of just a little bit better, not hugely better, but that little bit better.
I've got some absolutely stunning case knives, but they do some quite cheap ones with the Delrin handles, and you know they're a great working knife.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the yellow handle one that week. I got a copper lock over at the show last year, and it wasn't in perfect condition. Well, it was in perfect condition as there was no flaws in it, but it was, you know, there was little bits of scuff marks and things on it, and I got it for buttons. That has been one of my most used lately. You know, as just a super. Look at the blade.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's a nice knife. I've got a really nice copper lock as well, and it is a nice knife. But to be fair, if I buy one that's used and it's got signs of wear, I will use that knife more.
Yeah.
I will use that knife because it's got marks on it, and I'm just going to add to it, and then it's got a bit of more of like me on it as well, and it's just
exactly. This is probably my most used GEC, and this was my first one, and it was used when I got it. Now, not a whole lot. There wasn't any great patina, but it had been used, and I used it from day one. This has been absolutely black about 3 times, and I've cleaned it off, and then I took it off last year. It's just starting to, and I don't like forcing patina, so it just takes a wee bit longer if you just
let it happen naturally. Yeah, it's a natural process.
So yeah, and it's, you know, it's funny. I bought this one this year, and the bloke I bought it off. This is the wee lockback. What is it, 83 or something? I can't see.
That's nice.
The wee lockback, and it's beautiful. And he had forced the patina on it, which was perfect. So I used it from day one, like you said. It's just the best way to buy a knife sometimes is secondhand.
It is if you really want to use them. Yeah.
I think that's the sort of thing that people tend not to do with the locking knives as much. You wouldn't go out and hunt. Well, if your budget was tight, yes, of course you will. Everybody will. But a lot of the boys now, they buy their knives and then sell them within about a month, and they're brand new, haven't been used. You know what I mean? And,
you do see quite a lot of those sales, yeah.
In America, they tend to get a holding price for a while anyway, and then it'll drop off. But over here, trying to sell a second-hand knife we're anywhere near the maker's price, you haven't a chance. We're tight-fisted over here.
Yeah, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 models which maybe hold a price, or if it's an older model, but they tend to take a bit of a dip. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing, because it keeps that stupid market where in America you could buy a GEC the next day for 3 times the price that the person bought it for.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that.
To me, a GEC is not worth that. It's not even worth 200.
No. They're not a custom knife, are they? They're a mass-produced, well-made, really well-made, nice looking, mass-produced knife.
Yeah. And I think it's sort of keeping the reality in your collecting makes all the difference. When you know in your head what you're buying, it sort of makes it sense.
Yeah, I think it always pays to do a little bit of homework first. Don't just go in there and which I may have done once or twice on me.
The worst thing I used to do was not check the size, and then I'd wait next day for the parcel, and the parcel would come, and I'd have a wee knife about this size from China.
I bought one knife for thinking it was going to be small, and it turned out to be.
It's so funny, though. I have to say, it's so funny.
I was like, "What am I going to do with this?" It was enormous. It was like a scythe. I was like, oh God, I can't use this anywhere. I'm going to get nicked.
And we were talking there about SHOT Show, and people pipe up in the audience if you go on the SHOT Show or SHOT Show.
I want to see everybody. I want to see everybody at Sharp Show. Everyone.
Yeah, it'd be just amazing. And I mean, a lot of the boys in here are from the UK, and there's no save up now. It's in November. Save up. You don't have to buy anything. That's the joy of Sharp. And although we did last year, I don't have to. Me and Mikey were talking. I'm buying one.
I'm looking. I'm going to look for one really nice blade.
Yeah, that's it. But the thing is, I mean, you can go there, and the conversation and the crack is just mint. Absolutely mint.
I think, to be fair, we probably missed a lot of really good knives because we were talking for so long when we first got there. Everyone else was like going around like the tables, they were buying stuff, and we missed all of that first round of knives. Missed all of them.
Judd has just popped up there in his wee Switzerland face. There he is. Hello, wee Judd.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Mikey, I just wanted to wish you all the very best, bro. I've just been watching the first half hour. Honestly, I may as well quit now, mate. I mean, that's all I'm saying. You're welcome.
True, Judd.
I'm just keeping this seat warm for you.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
How's your holiday?
Oh, fabulous, mate. Look at this.
Look at the background.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And have you managed to get out and about, or has the weather been a bit poorly?
Oh, no, it's been fabulous. It really has. So we had a couple of rainy days, but the sun came out today, so we got up the Eiger today, and that's not a euphemism, Sean, so be careful.
That was fast. Usually takes experienced climbers a couple of days, doesn't it?
I know. I actually felt like coming on and saying, hello, YouTube. I feel just like Felix's biggest fan.
What we need to know is how many sacks have you bought so far?
Well, Mikey, the answer to that question is an easy one. I have bought exactly one.
Okay, but so that's my one. Where's Stephen's one?
Stephen doesn't get any because he was bad mouthing me and telling me that I'd been sacked.
Sacks are for girls. I'm just sticking with it. I got this. All my bushcraft gear.
Stephen, we better get a date in diary, mate.
He's got a mug on a D-ring.
Yeah, I got my mug. This was bought to me by one of my subs. A nice wee cup of tea.
He's not exactly tactical, is he?
No, we are not.
Well, he's trying. He's trying. Yeah. We got to get a date in the diary, Stephen, for our next one out. Oh. Look, lads, I'm going to leave you to it. You take it easy and have fun, okay? I'm enjoying it.
Take care of yourself.
Enjoy the rest of your holiday. When are you home?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. You take care, and I'll speak to you over the weekend at some stage.
All the best, guys. Everybody in the chat. See ya.
Yeah, bye. Love you. Oh, God. There you go. No, that was nice. We Jud's in Switzerland, and he's been to the sack shop.
Yes.
You see, that's wee Jud. He's sensible sometimes, and I'm trying to knock it out of him.
How can you only buy one? Oh. I've only bought one. He sent me pictures of hundreds of them, and he's bought one.
Yeah. He'll go back.
I hope so. I'm gonna goad him.
But I mean, he has a wonderful collection of sack knives anyway. You know,
he does.
He wouldn't be a random buyer much anymore.
I don't think it's. I don't think he's probably quite as big as Slippy's one is now, because that man's got a lot of sacks.
Slippy has way too many sacks.
I wouldn't say too many, but he's got a lot of sacks. Yeah, he really has, and he's got some belters in there as well.
Yeah, I mean that is a hobby within a hobby, sack knives, as is traditionals, you know. And you could just go for Victorinox, couldn't you, and have 10,000 of them for the rest of your life. Yeah. But I mean, and it's like everything else. It's, you know, there's Thrifty, his Rough Rider collection. I admire so much because he has all sets and they're just fabulous looking to display and to have. But
Yeah.
that's not the way I collect. I would be different. I sort of just like in one, like Rough Riders, I'll have one of each of their collection. I'm quite happy with that. I don't have two of something. And I sort of wish, sometimes I wish I could do that where you could have all different colors of in different bone or wood, but it's just not me. Just one of each company.
But that's when you end up with a lot of knives.
Yeah. And I don't have, I'm a pensioner. I don't have that sort of money to spare to do that. Although sometimes you wouldn't think it. But it is, I mean, there's so many different forms. And I suppose, like you take everybody in the chat here, there's not one of us will collect the same way. Not one of us will collect the same. And
there's no rhyme or reason to how I buy knives. It's, oh, I like that. That one feels nice. That one looks nice. I haven't got one of those. It can change from like day to day.
One of the things that I've said the most in my 7-year YouTube career has been, right, I'm not getting any of them anymore.
I'm just looking for a buck again.
Yes. What a stupid thing to say. And I've said it. I can't tell you how many times I've said it. Or, you know, I'm not going to collect them anymore. And you can guarantee that within a month of me saying that, I will have bought 3 of them.
Do you know what though? There was, I think, at the start of this year, I was pretty much done with sacks. I thought I've got maybe 50. Don't need any more. And then I got 4 or 5 new ones.
It's just the way it goes, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, it is.
When I started, I bought about 40 sacks in 6 weeks. When I started, that was Justin and
blaming Justin for this, are we?
Oh, yeah. Also, Dan from Bladebridge, they just bombarded me. So at about, I still have about 30, but I only use sort of one.
The one that I always tend to carry a Huntsman, or if I want a smaller one, then I carry the Electrician.
Yeah, the Electrician is lovely. That's what I got to see, Justin. He has my Electrician, and I have his. I have one of his. We had our knives out one night and we were showing off the
swapping them.
And I haven't got my Electrician that you sent me, and he's the only person I share a life with. So we must have switched him over. So I have to get the Electrician. I absolutely loved that knife.
Well, all of my sacks so far, they've just been standard models. I've changed a few of the scales for the fancy scales. Yeah. And then I finally got my first custom. My first custom sack.
That's from
now Dan. This one, it's from Dan, but it was given to me by Slippy.
Right.
So it's a Dan. It's got blue liners, blue G10 liners. It's a Mountaineer, I believe, and it's amazing. It's just so now custom sacks. Something else there, isn't it?
Yeah. And there it goes. There's always something else that's going to come along, which is great. I mean, you never get bored in it. I have never once been bored.
No.
I have got the stage where I might be bored of collecting one thing and then I move on to something else. I'll always get back to it, or usually always get back to it. But I have to say, with the traditional knives, it nearly seems that it's pretty permanent now because it suits me perfectly having a smaller knife in my pocket.
Well,
it's nothing to do with the law. It's just because I'm never going to get stopped and asked, what do you carry in your pocket? I'm not.
No.
But I mean, but it's. I do like the freedom of having a Slippy in my pocket that's small and easy to use.
What I don't think I really fully realised is with the like the British knives and stuff is how much work you can have done to them, like the fold back springs, different handles, different woods, and they look amazing. They look fantastic, and they're so different from the next one.
Yeah,
and that's a whole rabbit hole where you could have 1,001 of those Barlows, and every one would be different.
But then you get somebody like Ashley, when you meet him and you meet a custom maker, not just Ashley, you meet a custom maker that you click with, you buy from, he's happy, you get a relationship with him.
Yeah.
And he can ring up and I say, I just want a spay blade knife. All right. What way do you want it? I said a big fat spay and a big fat. You do the rest. I just want a big fat spay. And Ashley made me my spay knife. And it just, every time I take it out, it puts an enormous
Smile on your face.
We put it on the trapper, a full-size trapper handle, and that big spay. It just, I get such enjoyment out of this. And this is, to buy a custom knife made to his specs, not even mine. I said, I want a big spay. You make it and do, because I have this funny thing with custom makers. If you give them free reins, they'll enjoy making it.
Yeah, well, it's something different for them.
Yeah, they have to think of what they're going to do that they think to me, it makes it more, because I know bugger all about knives, except that they're pretty and they cut things. So if you're going to go to a custom maker, you have to like his work, because if he comes back with one of his signature blades and you say, well, I don't like that. I mean, why did you go with them in the first place? So I just trusted Ashley, and with everyone, you do it. This is what I want. You do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is my latest Arthur Wright, and it's a spay blade. Sorry, spay blade. It's a yeah, look at me there, spay blade.
You can see
that was you doing that.
Slippy is doing the crocodile now, spinning.
It's a spear point bladed with an ebony handle.
Beautiful.
And brass liners, and the fit and finish is lovely on it, and it's a real nice knife. This one, it really does click in that. And I picked this up in the famous Sheffield shop.
Yeah,
which is a wonderful shop. If anyone ever gets the chance to go there, I know Steel City Knives has been there. They've got everything that's made in Sheffield. And they must have had in stock maybe around 150 knives and stuff. And you can order stuff through them as well.
That's the best way to do it, is order it through them. And even try ordering an Ashley through them. You
can, yeah. You can order an Ashley, you can order a Taylor's Eye, Michael, something or other. What's that? Michael May knives are in there, yep. And there's some beauties in there, some real beauties.
Ashley actually throws one in every now and then that he's made an extra one of a custom knife, because people always complain they can't buy them. But going to a custom knife shop, I'm waiting on a knife coming from another company to do a full review of British knives and how to get them. And the cutlery shop is probably the best to get British factory knives, plus a few customs.
They're not an easy thing to find over here, are they? You don't find many shops where you can actually walk in there and find British-made knives.
You should try being over in Northern Ireland. It's next to impossible. You could get us. I know a shop and go and get sacks, but that's about it. Yeah,
I mean, one of the nicest things when I was in that shop, like the staff in it said that all the British makers seem to be on the rise again. All their knives are getting really, really popular. There's a larger market, and it's growing. And it's really growing, which is really nice to hear, because it means that we're going to keep making knives in this country.
Yeah, it's just this last 5 years, I have just slowly watched it grow and grow and grow. And people are now in America starting to talk about getting British knives, and they can do over in America now. They don't have to get them sent across there. They can actually buy your knife cheaper in America than what you can get it here in the UK.
Oh, not the base models, yeah, definitely.
I mean, and the base models, they get them in dollars what we pay pounds for.
Exactly, yeah.
It's great for them, and it's great to get them out there when they're this cheap, because they'll not stay that way. Nothing stays that way.
And from what I've noticed as well, I think the quality is getting better as well. I think they're taking their time, and the knives are getting better and better, which is a great thing for us.
And when you're talking about a knife, like a basic Arthur Wright's is about 38 quid.
Yeah, I think it's less than that. I think it's about 30, 35 maybe.
Yeah, it could be. It's a while since I bought one, but for that price, you can't expect a custom quality knife. These are working man.
It's a working man's knife. I picked up a spear bladed wooden handled Taylor's Eye Witness for Randy. and that's on the way to him. I posted that, I think it was yesterday, to him. And that Taylor's Eyewitness working knife with a spear blade, it was £26.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
What can you get for £26?
And it will last. It'll last you your day. It's built to last. Excuse me. It's built to last. The
according to the packet, it's got a lifetime warranty on it.
Yeah. But I mean, the blade steel doesn't last forever. But sharpen it,
put a bit of oil on it, and it's a working knife. It will probably last you a lifetime.
Talk.
Man down. How is everyone in the chat anyway? I can't see the chat. I'm on my phone.
Medic.
Is it man down?
I've seen a few new people in there, and they've gone now from my thing, and I don't know how to move it up and down. Oh, excuse me. Move it up and down. Mikey, where did you pick that up?
What the spear blade? Spear point? That one?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
That was at the famous Sheffield shop.
And they deliver, Stuart, as well.
They've got a website, yeah. They've got a website, and they send stuff in the post here, and you can order stuff as well from them.
Yeah, and I'll sort of see now. I think I can show you one of the. I'll show you some of their base models. Like there's their base. This is just their clip point. I'm sure you've seen it before, but that's just the basic clip point, and it's in the 30s, maybe high.
How nice is that with like the wooden handles? It's just a nice looking knife, isn't it?
It's beautiful, and the thing is, you get all sorts of different wooden handles with them as well. And wood,
well, they've got. I was told that they've got a new wood range from Arthur Wright's in that shop, and I think they're all being made by Beth.
Isn't that wonderful?
Wonderful, yeah.
That is super. What a great way! Because I mean, her apprenticeship is nearly up, if it's not up already.
Yeah, she's nearly done her 5 years. Yeah.
And she is really good. I've got one of her knives. I was showing it off last night. I got one of the first batch that she sold. And that's one of Beth's. And you can set her signature up on here. Let me just check.
Yeah.
And she actually put PPP on the back for me.
For Paddy's potato peelers.
Very special in the most lovely olive wood. Just
I'm going back there this week because I'm picking up a clip point in olive wood.
Well, Mikey, you are a very special man. You do know that.
Not really, no.
Can you pick me up a Beth clip point if there's one?
Of course
there?
I can. Absolutely.
As long as it's one with her signature on it. I
shall have a look for you. Yeah. Yeah.
And in fact, don't worry if it's not one with a signature. I'll take it without the signature. As long as it's Beth. As long as it's Beth, because I really want to support her.
Well, I went in that shop and I came out with 5 British-made knives, and I've only got one left. So one's gone to Randy, one's gone to Griff, who's on the Discord. One's gone to Slippy, and so I've got to go back and buy more now. A lot more.
Isn't that quite nice? Because everybody, we all talk about the price of knives, and there's some crazy price of knives, and I know because I bought some of them. And there's crazy price of knives out there, but you don't have to. When you're buying a gift, a lovely British Barlow is just, nobody would ever refuse one.
Well, yeah. So that is the burlap twisted assisted British Barlow. And I think these were what, £45?
Yeah,
I think they were.
Yeah,
and the Benchmade Freak, which was £230.
Yeah,
but that is a much better look. That's just lovely. That stunning knife.
I'm really hoping Ashley does more of the bigger Barlow bolster. I love that Ashley with a bigger bolster, the Barlow. I just think this is the prettiest Barlow in my collection.
Was that a custom order?
Yeah, it's a custom.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah, I mean that is a nice looking knife.
Look at the back of that.
File work, yeah, some lovely file work.
It's just stunning, and that wood is absolutely. Can't even remember what it is now. Yeah, thankfully you don't have to have a good memory to be a knife collector because I have proved that.
You just need lots of plasters.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've collected so many different types of woods now. Um, I have no chance of remembering the names, but I love looking at them. I'll sometimes just get them out the big line and just look at them.
There's a lot more woods coming on them line now as well. There's woods that I've never heard of.
Yeah, he's really good at getting wood from around the world. Really is.
But they look fantastic. When you see them on the knife, you think, "Ooh, that's nice."
Yeah, and is Beth doing that as well? Then she's going to be doing different woods.
I believe I was told that she's doing the like the wood range. Yeah.
Oh, she'd probably just be doing them for Arthur Wright, I would have thought, rather than her own signature.
Yeah. They're the ones that she's doing for Arthur Wright. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no, it's just it's wonderful. It's just lovely to see. I'm not going to say it for any sort of sexist reason, but especially for a young woman to go into a trade like knife making, when cutlers are like they're so hard to get a boy to do a 5-year apprenticeship. You know, never mind a girl. And I mean that takes some for anybody to go and do a 5-year apprenticeship now.
When you ask somebody in this modern world that, you know, say, well, you're going to have to learn this trade for 5 years, you're not going to be paid an awful lot because you're still training.
Yeah.
But you are picking up some wonderful skills, some awesome skills.
But I think even as a cutler, you know, a training cutler, it's probably 20 years before you get a name good enough to make high-end knives. So you're on a wage that's not commensurate with what your talent is after 5 years. Yeah, it takes another lot of years at the end of that to get your name up so your price can go up. So
although I would say that the beauty of it now with YouTube and the internet is that if you can make some knives and send them out, your name will just take off.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I really hope so, because you really need to be able to get them to America and places like that, even over to Germany. You need to be able to fly your wings.
Well, it's not a big market, is it? There's not a huge amount of people that are into pocket knives, so you need to spread your wings and get them everywhere that you can, don't you? Really.
And I think that's where, you know, young knife makers like Beth, you know, grab on the coattails of a few, you know, YouTubers who are not going to rip them on, don't want, you know, big value for doing it. You know, send them a free knife every now and then, let them publicize it. If they do it well, send them another one. And that's the way you should do it. You don't line yourself up for a year with somebody you're going to send a knife every year or every month for a year. Just send them one, see how it goes, then send them another one. You don't need to tie yourself up, because it's like, you know, one wee knife isn't that expensive, but if you're doing it to 3 or 4 YouTubers,
you can't do it for everyone. No, you've got to find someone who really likes your product.
Yeah. And
then they'll do like the sales for you, won't they? Really, like the sales pitch.
I mean, I have to say, and there's a lot of other people, not just me. The only thing I take off somebody who I'm doing reviews for is a knife. That's my payment. I don't get any 5% off of that, I just don't do that at all. And some of the like Ashley and me just sort of never even had a deal, but he'll do knives for me and he sells me at a discount price. And I review them because I like the knives. I don't get Ashley knives for free.
If you keep an eye on his Instagram account, on his personal one, some of the knives that he makes on there, there's some seriously beautiful knives on there.
Yeah, he really has. He's an amazing talent, and he does that in his own time. I mean, he's the floor manager for the shop. Do you know what I mean? And he makes knives for the shop, and does that just because he wants to keep his hand in, and he wants to get better at the custom ones. But his prices are still under £200.
Yeah, when I looked at it, at the really nice knives in the shop, I think the most expensive one in there was only about £175.
Yeah,
and that's with all the file work and nice bone handles. There was jig bone in there and stuff, and it's a lot of work, I would guess, for one knife, just to make one knife so well.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, yeah, and that is the thing. It's that consistency of the high finish, the time you take over the small details. which is usually the ones that YouTubers are going to pick up. If it's YouTubers are the most critical people in the world. Nobody outside of YouTube is that critical.
You know, I do get when you buy a knife and you say, oh, it's got a bit of gap in, and you know, and this, that, and the other, but it doesn't affect how that knife works, does it? That knife still cuts, it still opens, it like still closes, and so you're right, we do get a little bit finicky, but that's part of the like the joy of it.
And that's the thing. I mean, we are YouTubers. We're not experts. We're just people who also buy knives for ourselves. And you have to take sometimes things with a pinch of salt. You set the standard that you want for the price that you want, because we all have a price that we say, no, I expect this for that price. Because how many times have you heard that said? When I'm paying this much, I expect this.
No, I expect Magna Cut or
We all have a different price range. And I mean, go ahead.
But we are all different, and that's why I mean I spend most of my spare time watching. There must be now. I must be following 50 or 60 YouTube channels just about knives.
Yeah,
and everyone's got their different opinions, and I want to hear them all. You know, it's you know, it's a real nice, and it seems to be growing, which is a really nice thing. It's a real nice thing to get into now.
Yeah, I mean, I just. Last week, I bought the Shing knife.
I'll watch your video, yeah.
Oh, my God. Look at the bone on that. It is just to die for. Look at that blade.
Yeah.
That blade.
That's a very, very nice, yeah.
Just that. And it's the same on both sides. No shield, because the jigging is all hand done, obviously. It's not a same pattern on both sides, but it is so well matched. That's what a custom knife maker can take the time to do, is make sure that the both sides match. Because there's nothing worse than getting a brilliant one side, and then you turn it over and it's flat and dull. And
I've seen a few of those. Yeah, I've seen a few that look amazing, and then you turn it over and go, oh, okay, damn.
And what blade steel is this Shing put on this? Do you think?
Oh, is it a 1095?
Magna Cut.
Oh, okay.
Magna Cut from a custom knife maker here in the UK, putting Magna Cut, and the price for his knife is about $270. That is for the workmanship. And to get everybody keeps it's harder over here. It's more expensive. $270 for a custom knife.
I don't actually think when you look at the prices of stills, there's not. Yes, it costs more, but it's not ridiculously more.
Absolutely, definitely not.
So when you do see a £300 or £400 knife that's using a very old basic still, you think yourself, yeah, you know.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, you think that, but the difference between a custom maker and a production knife is all about how they treat the blade. Yeah. And you can get a 1095 that's Rockwell to 61, 62, and will cut for so much longer than your GC.
I tend to like all of my knives up around sort of like the 62, 63, 64, because I've never found them brittle. I've never found any of the stills brittle, you know, but they will hold an edge. They will really hold an edge.
Yeah, this is where it's going to separate. When you're getting the knives that are the basic brand, which is C75 and things like that, they're about 56, 57.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, but that's all you need, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's all you need. It sharpens like a pencil. You know, just a couple of swipes and it's gone. Even a strop will bring it back on your jeans sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
And you do it regular enough when you're cutting. You know, I carry a bit of leather in the back of my, where is it? Oh, my wee notebook's not here. I have a wee notebook that I put in my back pocket, and I have a wee flat bit of leather that I put in it and carry it everywhere with me. I think maybe I've used it once, but I always have it there in case I have to give something a strop, and it's in my pocket. I don't even notice it's there. It's with the book.
Those kinds of those C75s, 1095s, all that sort of steel, 5160s and stuff. It's a great steel. if you want to learn to like sharpen, learn on those.
Absolutely. And 440C, buy yourself a Ganzo for 20 quid. You can practice on it for years because it'll work for years.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good everyday still. It like really is. I've got no real problems with any of the stills that are out there now. To be fair,
I mean, it is. Once we start getting up and we're saying we're buying this because it has such and such a steel, that's because we want to, not because we want the knife. The knife's going to be any particular better. It's
what the heart says.
Yeah, and it's
totally what the heart says.
You want to be up there with the big boys, and I do it as well. I mean, I'm buying something, and I could care less what the steel is, but everybody else has said it's absolutely wonderful. I need to have a wee go at it. Magna Cut being the perfect example. We were talking earlier on. I still like M390 20CV.
Yeah, I like 154. I think that's a nice steel.
It's a beautiful CPM 154 is a great.
That's the one. Yeah. I like S35. S90's been really good. M4. They've all been good, and I really like crew wear. I've got a big thing about crew wear, which I think is a tool steel.
There's one I haven't bought yet, and it's the sort of I love tool steel because all Ashley knives is 01 tool steel. My bushcraft knives as A2. Do you know what I mean? It's all tool steels, and I love a tool steel. I love 1095, not because it's just a nice working everyday EDC blade. That's all it is. It's not.
Do you know what? It's a steel. If I can sharpen it, then I can use it. You know, any steel's fine, really. You know, it's.
If you can sharpen, steel really isn't important. Isn't important, and it's just like when I buy the high end ones. It's not because I know it's going to last longer. That's nothing to do with it. It is that pride thing, keeping up with the Joneses. Most of the time, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting it because everybody else says it's wonderful. And it can be an awful letdown sometimes, especially if you're not buying from a reputable maker, because you can buy an M390 that you're not going to get much more than an S30V cut. Do you know what I mean? Because it hasn't been treated right.
Yeah, heat treat is everything. And then sharpening angle as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like you. I like about a 17-degree edge, between 17 degrees and 20, depending on what sort of knife it is.
Yeah, 17 works really well for me. Yeah.
In fact, somebody asked me the other day when I hand sharpen, said, "What do you get your blade down to?" And the only answer I've got is sharp, because I don't measure the angle. I just do the same on both sides. If a knife has an angle on it, very rarely do I change it unless I feel it needs it.
I've found one or two knives that don't hold an edge for like very long, and I've changed the angle, and then they do hold the edge.
Chris Reeves S35 VM. You take it down to 17 degrees, it just lasts so much longer. Now this was when I first started S35 VN, and it wasn't heat treated. It was about 58, 59 maybe. But you take it down to 17 degrees, lasts for ages. For ages. And that's through experience. I've had two now with S35, changed them both, and it's just like night and day. Two different knives.
Yeah. I mean, I've had 17 is probably my sweet spot, especially for like slicers. For me bushcraft stuff, if it's not a convex, then I'm probably looking at about 20 still, 20 degrees.
Good
just
enough.
to, just so it holds up longer.
Yeah. No, I'd do the same. I've got that convex. That's my first proper convex. My Bark River.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh, do you like that knife, dear?
God, I love it. I've only just got to use it. I'm only getting to use it the last time me and Justin went out, because I didn't want to use it for menial jobs. I wanted to see. I still want to see how well it's going to work when I start chopping with it and doing. But it's a beautiful knife in hand.
Well, that's odd because I've got you down as more of a chainsaw man.
Yeah,
that was brilliant. That video, I love that video. You just stood there. Well, all right, yeah, I'll be there in a minute, Justin. Yeah.
I bought that chainsaw about 3 months before that video, just to do that skit.
That video, that was yeah. I think I had to watch that video twice because it just made me laugh. It was such a good video.
Just two fellas having an afternoon out, and it was such fun. We had
It's just entertaining for us. We were like, oh, have you seen like Jud and Paddy's video? It's brilliant. It's honestly brilliant.
We're going to try and make the camera work a bit better next time. We had fixed cameras that time to see how that worked. The next time we're going to do closer ups. We need them close ups and all, especially if you're cooking and cutting your fingers and things. That's so nice. People want to see that. Bit of blood.
there will be blood always. Yeah.
So those of you in the audience now, have you any questions you want to put to Mikey? Well, here's Mikey. Here's a question from Stuart. How are you storing, categorizing, and constantly growing collection? How are you storing and categorizing your constantly growing collection?
Right. So I definitely store them by brand first. So I've got all my bucks together. At the moment, I've got the really tough stacking boxes, and I'm storing them in there for the ones that I'm not using every day. So there's one for fixed blades. There's one for I think all my American knives, so the bucks and the case and the GECs. Then I've got one for like the modern knives, which is all the Kaisers and stuff like that as well. And then I've got a drawer with all of my everyday knives that have all got pouches, little leather pouches for all of me everyday knives. And then I'll just pick two of those. I'll pick one from the modern side, one from the traditional side each day.
How often would you change that, Mikey? Do you do it
every day?
No, but I mean, that drawer, do you do a complete changeover? Or are they
No, I tend to do it. So if I buy, so I've got five new knives, so they'll be in that drawer now, and I'll take 5 out, and then I might watch a YouTube video and I'll see that somebody's using a certain knife, and I think I've got one of those bokers or something, so I'll put the boker back into rotation,
Yeah.
And that it's just what you feel like, really.
Yeah, I mean, I have got certain ones that'll always be there because the knives that I know I can rely on to do certain jobs, I'll just automatically go for them. I'm really since I cut all my collection down, I have all my knives in front of me here now, except for my bushcraft. But I have all my knives in front of me, so I can just go to anything. I don't have to go out of the room like I used to have mine all over the place in rollout cases and boxes. I now have it all here, and it's just amazing. Makes such a difference.
Yeah, if I'm going camping or wild camping, the one knife I will always take is a buck 110.
Right. Well, I've started taking the buck 112. I just got mine in S30V, and
yeah,
I used it once, and I was so impressed with how well it bites in the wood. Yeah,
I've got the Mike Carter buck 110 in S30V.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really nice knife. Slightly different blade shape to the 420 HC.
Yeah, this still has the old shape, the buck 112.
Yeah, that's a proper 112.
Yeah. And I bashed the there was a wee bit of a side to side on it, and I welted it with a hammer when I first got it. It was brand new.
Yeah, that'll fix it.
Welted it with a hammer, but I put big marks all over the bolster, and I couldn't care because it's a user now. It's mine. It's staying. It's just.
Well, my first very, very good knife was my buck 110. It's a 1985 model that I got in about 86 or 87.
Right.
And that's kind of where it all like started. And then I got a sack as well in about 91. So
yeah. And that's strange.
Yeah, but I've always got a buck 110 if I'm going out to the woods and like camping and that. Yeah.
Here's my fanciest knife. This is one of the Spyderco. Now, what do you call them? Somebody in the audience maybe help. You know what they do? It's just you just buy the bare knife with no handles, and they do it for new blade steels. This is the one the Big Brown Bear done in. Oh God, what's it in? CPM 15V.
Oh, so nice. Yeah, very nice still.
Yeah, look at that. Look how thin that is. And this is a fixed blade. All of them come as fixed blades. I can't remember what they call Mule Team. That's it. It's a Mule Team knife. But you can buy the whole ensemble where you get handles and a Kydex sheath with a belt clip. And I got this. I was doing a trade, and I traded for this. Oh my God, this is beautiful. I'm dying to see what it does. I haven't cut anything with it yet, other than a bit of paper.
Right.
And it's supposed to have great toughness.
It is, yeah.
You know, to use in the wood. So that's going with me next time to have a wee play with.
Because last time you took the Spidey Chef, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's from a cooking.
That's a knife that I really want to get. I think I really would like a Spyderco Spider Chef.
I love it. I would use it in the house for cooking as well. It's just, and it's not as good as, you know, a chef knife, but I just like using it. So
yeah,
I use it. It's so easy, and you don't worry about rusting. You're not worried, you know, if I leave it in my bag after, you know, I forget, because I do forget things. Not that people would ever know that. I hide it so well. But yeah, I think you would love it, because it's.
I would do. I don't think I've ever had a Spyderco fixed blade, but the Spider Chef, I really want one of those.
Spidey Chef is just beautiful.
I've got the I recently bought a stovepipe, Spyderco stovepipe.
Oh right, yeah, that was an odd looking knife. Was it good in the hand?
It's very nice in the hand. It's like a little cleavery type Spyderco. Very thick blade, very thick, but I absolutely love it. I'm not sure how I'm going to use it really, but it's.
There's quite a few Spydercos where especially they're sort of off the normal range, always had thick blades.
Yeah. I've got the stovepipe. I've got the Sliz Bowie as well. That's a nice knife.
There's Eric saying, Mikey, show us. Have you got your Spydercos with you? Show us
I can get to some of them.
Show us a couple of your favorites.
Oh.
Yeah, we got about 15 minutes left, folks. So if you got any questions, get them up there now, and I'll try and get them to Mikey.
Let's see what I've got to hand. The chaparral. I think Jud's got one of these, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Small knife, but four fingers on it.
Yeah, beautiful.
And this one's in the maple, I think it is.
Oh, that's really nice. Judd has the other one, the
really nice, like
I would prefer the maple, to be honest.
Yeah, Judd is trying to get it off of me. Yeah, he's trying to convince me to like part with it. So this is
he got the chaparral. I couldn't buy a chaparral then because I bought the little native. That's
a lovely knife. I don't have a native.
And this is UK legal, 4 fingers, beautiful. Oh, that's it there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It would have to be. I'm not a real cleaver person, but that's nice looking.
It's a super. Look at the thickness of that blade, though. It's a beast.
We're getting up to Medford territory there.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a liner lock as well.
Have you had a go at going into any of the Spanish or French knives?
No, there was a Lagoo that I liked at Sharp Show, which I should have bought. Slippy told me to buy it because it was 50 quid, and it had all file work on the back of the spring and everything, and I never bought it. I should have done. What
else have you got there then?
Sliz Bowie.
Oh, you mean man. Oh, is that the newest iteration?
This is the latest one, I believe.
What's the scales? What are they? Titanium treated?
It's titanium, yeah. I think the steel is CTS
XHP, is it?
Yeah, something like that. I think my eyes are getting worse. CTS something, yeah. But that's CTS,
or 204p maybe.
You know what? The sun's going down here, and I can't really see it.
I don't worry. But what's the handle? Is it just been treated? Because it looks darker than the rest of the Sleece Boys.
It's a darker titanium. Yeah, I don't know if it's if they've coloured it somehow or.
Is it as good as they say it is? Because I've never handled one.
It's a bit good. It's a little bit special. I was always a PM2 fan. Always loved like the PM2, and this is my favourite Spyderco.
Yeah, nice thin blade on it and just slicer.
Absolute slicer. I put a mirror edge on it. I got it. I got my diamond stones out and went up to about 6,000 on it. Quick strop with the older diamond spray on it as well, and it's a real nice slicing knife. But it cost me that much money. I don't really take it out much.
I was just about to say this would be my Sleece Boy, because you can see that's the same maker all over.
Yeah.
But this is only about 320, and I'm sure that was 500 would have been.
Oh, when I got this, it was like new, but it wasn't brand new.
Yeah.
And I got it at a really good deal. I think I paid about 300 for it.
Oh, that's a fantastic deal, yeah, all day long. That's about what I think the price of them is. And I think that, I mean, they've got the Spider Chef now at 320. I sort of put it at about, I bought mine secondhand, but about 350. 250 is where I'd be more comfortable.
Yeah. I often see even used knives, and people are, they're asking quite a premium for them, but they don't always sell.
No.
And if you wait 6 months down the line, someone else has got one at the price that you want to pay.
Yeah.
Just like with that Benchmade Crooked River, right?
Yeah.
I always wanted one. I did not want to pay the money that like people were asking. Yours came up, and it was a reasonable price for a great knife.
Yeah, it's a lovely knife, I have to say. Lovely knife.
Big knife, very big knife, but awesome.
Yeah. Too big for me. I'm not man enough anymore. Sad.
Is there like running around the woods with like chainsaws?
The chainsaw's brilliant. I'm going to use it every time I go now to cut wood up. It's so easy.
I'm not sure how that works in a bushcrafting situation if you can't charge it.
We are going to change the name, because bushcrafting we are not. I think two old codgers having a picnic is better.
Yeah, what could you call that? Chaotic wood sessions or something. Yeah,
something. Yeah, yeah. We'll have to come up. We'll maybe have a competition when Justin goes back. I think we'll have a competition to see who can come up with the best name for what we do, and we'll maybe change it to that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, well done, Mikey. I like that. I like that idea. So there we
Brilliant.
go. Any other questions for Mikey? What's the French knife you recently bought online, Mikey? Elan saying.
French knife? Did he say?
Yeah.
French knife? I'm not sure I've bought a French knife.
That's the one I've got there. This is the tastiest steak knife I have. It's just beautiful. It's in bone.
Is that bone?
Yeah.
It's got some lovely dyeing on it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got some nice color through it, but you can see look, can you see it? The bone going through it. They haven't smoothed it all out. They've kept a couple of wee rough bits.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful knife, beautiful steak knife. This is a Lethers, which I'm told is up there, with the French knives. I don't know enough about them. But beautiful, beautiful knife. Slip joint as well. But
actually, I think the only French knife I've had was an Opinel, and I wasn't a fan.
You're not a fan of Opinels? Oh gosh.
No, I'm not a fan of them. I don't know why. I know they're a traditional knife that's been made for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could get a really good edge on it, but the edge didn't last at all.
No, they're not at all.
I found them really stiff to open as well, really tough to open.
All right.
Yeah, but it's
it's a cheap knife, and it is what it is.
It is exactly, yeah.
It is what it is.
Maybe, yeah, just maybe not for me, which is quite rare, but no, not for me.
I mean, I used to use them for eating when I was doing proper bushcraft, and I used it as my eating knife because it was great to cut through anything. You know, quick stop, and it was back to sharpness again.
See, I just used a buck 110 for everything.
Yeah,
I could eat with it. I could carve with it.
Yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, there's knives I could do that with, but I tend to just use sort of girly knives for most things because I'm a weak old man.
Open all the girly knives, are they?
Yeah. So what's your second? If we come down on your modern knives, you've got Spyderco at the top, would we say?
Yeah, I think so.
What would come close to them then? Is it your bucks?
See, I have my Spyderco and my Benchmades. I kind of see them as very
equal,
similar. Bucks are different for me because I think they're my first love. They were my sort of like knife that I've had for about 40 years now.
Yeah.
And they were very late coming to the market with better steels, weren't they? Really?
Very, very late.
Very, very late. But they've done a few things now. They've done some Magna Cut and some S35, some S30.
S30 is perfect for me. I don't need any more than that in a buck knife because when you get the Boss heat treat on it, lifts it again.
But I don't really see a buck knife as a modern knife. But I don't see it as a traditional. It falls somewhere in the middle for me.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. I hate it when people say they're traditional because they came out in the 60s. The Delicate came out in the 60s. Do you know what I mean? It's not exactly a traditional knife.
But the beauty of the 110s and the 112s and the 55s, they've got the brass and they've got the rosewood or ebony or, so they've got that look of them.
Yes.
But they don't feel like a traditional knife, do they?
To me, they're not. No, to me, they're more like an iconic sort of a knife.
Very much so.
That's
very much so.
Very much an iconic. And I mean, I had a wee buck 55, and it was fantastic.
I love my 55.
Judd got it. Judd, I gave it to Judd. I don't know why I gave it to Judd. Don't even like it.
They should make that as a slip joint.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
The 55 and the 112 as slip joints would be wonderful.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Although they're doing the plastic ones they're doing now, are they slip joints or are they still? Oh, they're backlocks as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they did do a slip joint in the plastic handles, but I don't think they make that anymore. I got one. I had two of them. I sent one to Slippy. I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head, but now they do those saunters, don't they? Which you've got and I've got.
I love the saunter. Absolutely,
I love the saunter.
Love it. Just a super little knife to have in your pocket at any time. It is a small blade and a big handle, but that's nice because I got a big hand. And,
I don't mind a bigger handle because I can really hold it really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think it's an absolutely super knife. And the S30V on it lasts for donkeys. It's been well heat treated. And
they got the Mike Carter handles on them.
Yeah, which again, perfect.
I mean, they're not a cheap knife over here. I think they're about 130 on Heine.
Yeah, even more.
But they're a good knife. They are a good knife.
They are, and I mean price. I mean, I know, like it's all this bickering over prices. We all have a different budget, and we all think budget is a different price. And I wish people would just let people be people. If they want to spend 500, let them spend 500. It's their money. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to like.
On the run up to Sharp Show, I think, I was thinking £50 probably a budget knife to me, and anything over 100 is a nice knife. And I thought to myself, that's probably where I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Now I'm thinking a nice knife. I'm comfortable around the 300 mark.
Yeah, that would be my sort of limit now. I'm trying to keep it to that 300 from a maximum. But most of the knives I'm going to buy are going to be in that sort of 75 to 150.
Yeah,
just everyday knives, and occasionally then a nice £300 one.
Yeah, that's. I think now, as I said, I've kind of got I've got most of what I want on the modern side of things.
Yeah.
And some of those moderns go up to, they're a lot of money.
Yes.
On the traditional side, where I've started off on the cheaper end, I started off with some Rough Riders and Marbles, which are fantastic knives.
Yeah.
And I've now gone on to some of like the British Barlows and stuff, and now I'm starting to look at the more custom ones.
Yeah.
So the price is like going up, but the quality is going up, and it's
Honestly, there's another knife that you should really, I think you would invest in. It's worth every penny. It's again a bit more expensive than what you've been paying. The Boker, there it is, the club knife, the Boker club knife. This is in ironwood. They come in different covers. This has got that generic spear point, but it's got a point. Do you know what I mean? You can do everything with it. It's fat. The depth is good on it. You get a really lovely 4-finger grip. Just an absolutely one of the best knives Boker makes, and I think you would love it.
And that's the club knife.
Club knife, Boker club knife, comes in all different woods.
Last year I bought a Boker. Is it Castleberg?
Yes.
A small slip joint, like a small Barlow. It's fantastic.
They're
stunning
knives. Their Barlows are smaller than the British ones.
Much smaller, yeah.
But they're sort of like a GEC shape and size, whereas ours are a bit fatter, a bit more meaty, and a bit more
lot more meaty, but it's got a gorgeous little blade on it. Really nice blade on it. Really well put together. Nice snap.
Yeah. It's really, but I think you'd love that club knife. It's an absolutely stunning knife.
This is the thing there. Obviously, each year that goes by and there's new models coming out, or they bring out some old models again. There's so many to choose from. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. There's so many knives out there.
Actually, there's something I think would be great in Slippy's, and it is the sanitarium, is an exchange where if you want to try a knife, you can ask somebody on the exchange, have you got this knife? I want to have a look at it before I buy it. Because when you buy an expensive knife, getting one in hand first, you mightn't like it at all. And it'd be lovely to be able to get knives that you haven't got.
Well, he has just set up a new channel on the sanitarium for buying knives. So
yeah, I've used
all the Brits can ask people in the States and and it's brilliant, Can you find me a so-and-so and this is my price, and then they'll help you out of it. It's awesome.
I'm going to use that because I love old American knives. I have a big collection of old American knives, and I love the old I don't like for Barlows that have something on the bolster.
On the bolster.
That just fizzes me out completely. I love them. I mean, I'm sitting at 30 odd now like that, and I want that to grow. But
I think I've got on the British traditional knives now. I've got about 10. But in the next year or so, I could see that maybe getting to about 30.
I absolutely easily.
Yeah,
I can see that in 6 months you'll have 30 because it sort of does grip you, and they're affordable.
They are.
In your price bracket, you can get 3, 4, 5 of them for something you would pay on an ordinary Spyderco.
And it's the variation in woods. It's the variation in blade shapes, because there's clip points and there's spear points and there's lamb's foot and
all the clip points and all the spear points and all the lamb's foots and all the ram's foot. They're all different shapes as well of that one pattern, and that's
every manufacturer makes a different lamb's foot from the next one, don't they?
So exciting. And you were talking about marbles. There's if you ever get a chance to get this is
I love marbles.
This is a high-end marble. I mean, I've got the cheap marbles. This one's a high-end marble. This is absolutely outstanding. The quality of this knife is just, this is GEC standard without a doubt. Yeah. And a marbles knife. The old, it's brand new old stock, but it's just gorgeous. Look at that.
And is that a USA made knife?
Yeah. USA made, not China.
Lovely.
But when they made them then, I mean, good gosh, it's just beautiful. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's just got made by marbles, but it's beautiful knife. And they're the
So
sort of wee gems that you find, and you just, oh,
if you can find the new old stock
oh,
of
just
British or USA made knives, that's what you want. You want
yeah,
two or three of them.
yeah. And that's where I think you really have to go to other slip joint groups and sort of slip
Yeah,
joint groups that are sort of a higher standard than the basics,
yeah,
because they're the boys that buy them and then sell them.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know. Slippy's got that really nice new old stock Schrade, hasn't he? That he like dropped on.
Yeah,
Some of those old Schrades, they're very nice as well.
yeah. I've got some Barlows from Shred. They're just beautiful, and
I don't. You know what? I've got one modern Schrade and a couple of fixed blades. I don't have any of their old patterns.
yeah, I've Scrimshaw Shred and different ones. And the bolsters on them are just well. Let me just show you. Maybe you've seen these, and I'm just talking. Look at that for a
You can always
Shred.
show me. I don't mind.
Look at the
Yeah.
bolster on that.
You done a video, didn't you, on all of your knives
Yeah,
with the bolsters?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's my honestly, that's my jam. I just love.
See, I don't know what my jam is really. I do like a sod buster. I really like a sod buster. I'm getting into the Barlows, but I don't know. I'm thinking that I need a few more sod busters, but with nice bone jigged handles.
That's quite difficult to find.
Mm.
It took me about 3 years, mate, before I decided that Barlows were going to be my main thing. Now, not necessarily ones in a bolster. I just love Barlow as a pattern, full stop.
I mean, thinking about that, I mean, living in Sheffield, I'm probably in the best place to start a collection of Sheffield Barlows, aren't I? Really?
Yeah, you are definitely. Yeah, I'd be sitting outside the shop every morning if I had money.
Every payday, just knocking on the window. Let me in. Let me in.
You know, when I was a drinker, you used to stand outside the bar and pretend you weren't going in at opening time. Yeah, that's me. Definitely me. Oh, but yeah. Look, folks, we're geez, it's nearly an hour and a half.
Flies by, doesn't it? Flies by when you're talking about a really good subject.
And there's 38 people still in. You're a
38 idiots just like us.
You're a popular guest. It's been a joy, Mikey. It's been really nice.
It's been an absolute pleasure. When Judd asked me just to like stand in, I was like, yeah, of course. Of course.
You were the only person I asked, to be honest with you. So
I was like number 907 on the list, apparently.
Absolutely not. It's some, you know, you talk to people every now and then, you get a wee squirt every now and then, and it's the same with everybody. You know, I always have wee chats here and there, and I'm an antisocial person. I'm not very good on the technical side, so I tend to not get it. See, getting a one-to-one with somebody, like meeting you last year, it was like we'd known each other our whole lives.
It does, yeah. I mean, we met so many guys. We met Slippy, we met Will, we met Sean, we met Mark.
Yeah.
Gus, who
was nearly dead.
I've not heard from Gus in a while, so I'm hoping he's okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody even mention it. I asked on the podcast on Tuesday night I was on, but I haven't heard from anybody who's heard anything else.
I've got my fingers crossed for him. He's a really good lad. Really good lad. Great channel.
On the day. And we'll ask Stuart McRae maybe if he could say a prayer for Gus, and that is his health's improving and he comes back stronger than he ever was.
Yeah.
I know Stuart will do that. Stuart's a nice friend of mine from over here in the Northern Ireland.
And I got to meet Judd as well last year.
Yeah, this is it. It's just, and Judd's not even a YouTuber. Do you know what I mean? That's nice.
Judd's brilliant, isn't he? He's just awesome.
I don't think I've ever clicked with anybody as quickly. I have such fun with him, and we talk about anything and everything when we sit in here at night times, and we just end up wetting ourselves at the end of it. And that the days out.
You know what though? Used to crack us up, even on your like videos, on your lives. We're all in the chat, and we're just dying. We are absolutely dying sometimes.
But it's really nice when it's happening to you as well. You know, we just have this bond. It's just fantastic.
There's times on your live when you two are just going on about stuff and you've not even looked in the chat. And there's us in the chat saying, "Oh, these two are brilliant." You know, it's so funny.
I never watch videos back. Never watch videos back because it would take the enjoyment out of doing them for me. Because me watching what I was going to say, you know, I don't rehearse anything. I don't write anything down. That's
of all the times that I've been on your show and stuff, I've never watched back on those videos.
No,
I can't bring myself to do it. I don't know why.
I love doing
it's like a self-hate thing. I don't know.
I watch them when I upload them. I have a quick watch through to make sure everything's all right. But I'm usually doing something else and listening on the background. But I never go back to watch something as in to watch it. Oh no, that would just put me
some
off.
of your videos though. I mean, you like fly off on these tangents.
Oh.
Then you can't remember what you were talking about, and then you've forgotten the name of the knife, the name of the maker, and then you drop something, and I just love it. I just love those little stories. You know, when you just go off on a story, because I'm there, I've probably got a 3-hour drive somewhere, and I just laugh to myself. It's brilliant.
I mean, that's the sort of podcast I love listening to when it's free, and it's like two fellas standing beside each other, just talking. It's naturally fun for the two of us, but it's been fun having you on. I'm going to let
thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for standing in, and thank you to everybody in the chat.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Probably didn't get to you half as much when Jud's here. He's the technical person. I don't do two things at once. My wife will come in and happily confirm that. But it's been a joy having Mikey. I hope you enjoyed him. He'll be back on again. He'll be back on again. And again, just thank you. It's been fabulous. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody, we're going to end you off now. Thank you so much.
I'll see you in the sanitarium.
Yeah. Probably in Downpatrick over here. End stream. Oh, end stream.